what I'm gonna give you, snakes. I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no-good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm going.
1, 2, 10. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
I enjoyed making that way too much. How we doing, everybody? Sam here, United People's TV. We're here for a festive show. It was supposed to be, I don't know, something that was a bit more enjoyable. I think that intro is probably going to be the most enjoyable part of the show today. You know what's even worse about this? Just to get started, right? All my beer is not in this house because it's ready for Christmas. So I had to go in my fridge and I had to get what was left in the fridge. I think this kind of sums up. Where we are. I've only got a Strongbow dark fruit cider. So, ladies and gents, this is the most satisfying noise in the world, I think. How are we doing? I think I know exactly how you're all doing, but welcome to the United People's TV festive Christmas show. Going to be doing it a little bit differently in this one. There's plenty to run through and talk about from that game yesterday, but we're going to do a live call-in as well. A little bit later, I'll share the link out, and I'll share it with everyone, really. If you want to call in, we can have a chat. Saying it, I've got it written down there. Man United are absolutely determined for us to not enjoy football. That was bad yesterday, wasn't it? That was bad. But look, who's here from the member gang? Who's here? If you watch on YouTube or Facebook, we'll probably be here for about an hour. Got plenty to run through. And as always, your questions and your comments, they kind of steer how this show goes. So whatever you say in the comments, we can talk about. Let's see who's down here. All good morning to you, Natasha. Richie, I know it's awful. Strongbow dark fruits. Oh, well. Thanks, Rosie. Anthony, good morning to you. Carl, Jonesy, Zigzag, Lone Wolf. We've got Danny Jones, Josh, Rego, Rogerio. And can I just say, on the Friday show, the community generosity here is so incredible, man. It really is. And you know what I realized today? I don't know why I'm saying this on camera, really. But I've realized that I've been putting so much effort into so many things that I'm doing, like in all the shorts videos and all the long form. I still don't feel like I've given the community the focus it deserves. So I promise that I'm going to kind of change that and put my priorities in order. The software, we're halfway through, kind of run into some problems. And yeah, I had to disappear to Ireland for a week. So it's just, there's so many things going on. I promise I'm trying to get it done. I swear on my life. But I'm a perfectionist. That's a bit of a problem. Robert, good morning to you on Facebook. Kevin, good morning to you. Who else is here? Let's have a look. Najero, Sheriff, Steve. What is everyone drinking? That's what I want to know. Put that in the comments. That's more enjoyable. I'm drinking dark fruits, so you're probably drinking something better than me. Whew. Matt, thank you very much, dude. You're saying, Matt, this year's been wicked for you in terms, but hats off to your hard work. It's been, I'm in such a privileged position. As I said, it's going to be a different sort of show today. You can fire in, it can be like a Q&A throughout the show, really. I've put so much time and effort and investment into United People's TV this year. So much. The team is bigger than it ever was. And the pressures of that are bigger than they ever were. And the demands for content. It's crazy how much content you need to do. It is crazy. But it's a privileged position. But it would be nice if United could actually, be a decent football club. Because you know me, I prefer to take a positive angle and an outlook. It's just my way of living, right? But man, United are making it hard. United are really making it hard. Right. Lone Wolf, you're drinking a black coffee. Yeah, seems fair enough. Jake, you'd be on the beers if you weren't at work. Just be sly about it. Just be sly about it. What we got down here? Double whiskey, says Nikos. Now, that is one hell of a start to the show. Dave, you're having a Vimto. Very nice. Water, says Nilanjan, living up. Tuborg, says Henrik, a monster. How's anyone drink those drinks, man? Red Bull, Monster, like the caffeine hits must be crazy. I can't deal with that. This photo here, by the way, can I just say that is an incredible photo. Whoever the cameraman was that snapped that at that moment in time, given what is going on with Ten Hag right now, is that is a hell of a photo. As much as I don't like the metaphor of it, the bubble bursting on Ten Hag and all that, that there is an extremely well captured photo. So I've got to give the cameraman credit for that. Someone talked to me about the game yesterday. Can someone else just take over the show? I'll just sit there and drink. I don't think anybody went into that game yesterday sort of. I didn't go in there expecting to dominate West Ham or for United to play flowing, wonderful football. No. However, and again, I mean, how many times has this happened this season, right? United have. No, I'm not saying the result at Anfield was something that we'll go celebrate and we'll make a DVD about, right? But given the context of where we were going into that game, a 0-0 was worth celebrating how good we were defensively. And again, there are 34 shots. Like, come on, man. Liverpool didn't have a decent shot on target. It was something worth celebrating. That organisation, that discipline that we had at Anfield in a place where we've crumbled so many times before. You're thinking, okay, maybe we can take that into West Ham. And just like when we went from Chelsea to Bournemouth, and this has happened so many times this season, I don't even want to think about how many others, right? It didn't lead to a positive upturn. United this season are just up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And that's why the extremes are just so extreme. And yesterday, I mean, you know what I think about the midfield setup? Yeah, we're going to have a conversation about McTominay. Yeah, we're going to have a conversation about Hojlund, about our lack of goals. But it's not just Hojlund, just our overall team and our lack of attacking. Honestly, I can't believe we're only 8th. I don't know whether that's a ridiculous thing to say, but I can't believe that we are only in 8th place. But I look at that table, right? It feels like there is sweet FA chance of us getting in that top 4. And I don't mean to say that from a completely negative point of view. You know, the realism and all that. I have to be realistic there and say, do I think this Manchester United team, over the course of the next 20 games, are going to knock one of Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs, or City, let alone what Villa are doing? Are we really going to knock them out of those positions? And I don't think we are. I don't think we can. I've got some confidence that Manchester United will be a better team in the second half of this season if nothing changed, right? I think we would be a better team in the second half of the season. I think us playing once a week will suit us. I think when Martinez comes back, that will genuinely help us. I would like to think that Casemiro coming back will help us, but I don't particularly think we can, at this point in time, talk about one individual coming back and making the difference to our team. I'm going to go down here and there's an interesting couple of comments there as well. Super chat from Ant, and there's also a follow-up there that I want to read out. Ant saying, let's stop blaming McTominay when the whole club is screwed. We are a pathetic excuse for a United team. Busby Page would be ashamed. Oh, geez. That's one way of putting it. And there's another comment down here saying, from Flashlight Productions. You seem either to have an agenda or not watch the matches properly. You putting the blame on McTominay is not putting you in a good light. My dude, you reading headlines and not listening to what I'm saying is not putting you in a good light. Is Scott McTominay the only problem at our club? Absolutely not. Is Scott McTominay the only problem inside that team? Absolutely not. However, is Scott McTominay one of the biggest problems in this team? Yes. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. This photo's been doing the rounds after the game yesterday. And Erik Ten Hag did what I said. When we played Liverpool, we had Mainu and we had Amrabat. We had a midfield 2 sitting in front of our defence, and it was that shape which helped us stay so defensively resolute and limited Liverpool to half chances, shots from outside the box, rather than chances on the edge of our own box, ones that they probably would have scored. And then we go to West Ham, and Ten Hag switches to the system that he has been trying all season long. Mainu playing as the deeper, or a midfielder, Mainu against West Ham, playing as the deeper number 6 with 2 more aggressive number 8s in Bruno Fernandes and Scott McTominay. But it's this bit here that I'm finding, it's kind of 2 parts really, that I'm finding most frustrating. Let me go over here, see if I can pull this up. Number 1, Bruno Fernandes being deeper than Scott McTominay is mind-blowing. Bruno Fernandes being pushed out of position. This is, I think on paper, actually, the most, like the top, not like one of, the top creative midfielder in the Premier League. All teams in the Premier League, despite how crap we've been for a few years, nobody in the entire Premier League has made more chances than Bruno Fernandes. Yet we're pushing him out of position because Scott McTominay might get on the end of a ball on the edge of the box. Now, that's correct. McTominay will do that when you're creating chances. And you can't do that with the current setup that we've got. Man United now, what is it? We haven't scored a goal in 381 minutes. You know the thing that I find most frustrating? Is it the thing I might find most frustrating about yesterday? Maybe not the most frustrating thing, but something that was seriously frustrating. By the time that Paqueta, that pass, by the way, from Paqueta was just unreal. 10 out of 10. World-class pass from him. But by the time that pass went through, Man United could have and should have been 1 goal, if not 2 goals ahead. Like the first 65 minutes of that game, I've seen there's been an absolute ton of frustration towards it. First 65 minutes of that game, West Ham did not really threaten us at all. Did we threaten them? No, not a ton. And I would probably say that our chances actually came through mistakes that West Ham made, but, you know, we kind of semi-forced those. We should have easily been ahead by the time that West Ham got their chance there. But instead, and this is what I mean, if anybody thinks that I think, oh, if McTominay comes out of the team, then brilliant, Manchester United, we're going to win 4 and 5-0 straight away. No, I do not think that. But I cannot. Please, for the love of God, somebody try and give me like a logical explanation now as to why Ten Hag is continuing to start McTominay. I'd love to understand why you think he's still doing it, because it's not because of his goal threat anymore. He's not threatening at all. So it just kind of defies logic. I don't know. I feel like I know what it is. When a manager is or fearing his job, when a manager feels like his back's against the wall, you will always pivot towards the players that you feel might grab you the goal. And it feels like that's what he's going to do. Joe saying that's one of the most outrageous comments I've seen in a while. No goals from Mainu or Amrabat. Mate, they're not. Your deeper midfielders are not there for goals. Your deeper midfielders are there to protect your defence and make sure that your first phase of play out of defence to your attack is seamless. That's what your midfielders, your deeper midfielders should be doing. If you're a top level midfielder, then you will be able to add goals and assists into that. But it is not that person's job. The strongman Steve, another overreaction from a fan channel. I mean, fuck me, mate. We've lost 13 games. We've lost more games pre-Christmas than we have in any season, I believe, since 1930. At what point do you sort of say it's not an overreaction? It's just isn't it weird? I get called. I bet it's the internet, right? You expose yourself to everything. You get called a pessimist on one time, then you get called an optimist on one time, and then you get called over optimistic, and then you get called realistic, and then you get called unrealistic, and it's just like, I cannot win. Neither can United right now, either, which is a big problem. Malps, you seem to be obsessed with the concept that Scott McTominay is a scapegoat. He's not a scapegoat. You seem to be obsessed with the fact that Anthony is the biggest problem in this team. Everybody is a problem in this team. Honestly, I think pretty much every single player right now is a problem in this team. But I personally feel we can talk about all the problems of our wingers, and I will talk about them next, by the way. I've got it all lined up. Football is won or lost in a midfield. Most of the time. Control of the game, chance creation, it all stems from your entire midfield shape. Now, whether or not our wingers are creating enough, taking their man off enough, that's one little fundamental part of the team up in the right wing. We are talking about the whole center of our pitch. And I can't believe that Erik Ten Hag is sort of, it feels sort of like, is it an obsession? I don't know. I don't think it lasts the whole season, by the way. I think once Casemiro's fit and once Martinez is fit, I honestly think the midfield partnership of Casemiro and Mainu is a midfield partnership I think that will really, really complement each other. And I don't really think a lot of our players complement each other. I really, really don't. Like Anthony and Hojlund are such a mismatch. Anthony is a player who will drive to the fake to the outside, cutting on his left, and he will shoot. That's what Anthony does. Hojlund is a striker that will run with pace into the box, waiting for a whipped cross. The styles of the two completely and utterly, they're polarized. Garnacho. He's a head down, take the player on and get a shot away for myself. Winger. So our wingers are not geared towards our striker. And I'm speaking about that next, but I don't know why Erik ten Hag is still pursuing this. Like that West Ham game right there, dude, was the opportunity to take a step forward. I told you, Scott McTominay was the player who stopped us from sinking. 2 goals against Brentford, 2 goals against Chelsea, Sheffield United. It's our top scorer. But he's not going to be the player that takes us up. He is an excellent squad player. But the same thing that is happening with Scott McTominay now is the same thing that happened to me with Marouane Fellaini. Fellaini started off as being that sort of supporting striker, get the ball into him, and he kind of popped up with a goal here and there and a few decent performances. And then all of a sudden, I remember it, Fellaini ended up starting in central midfield for us, like week in, week out, away from where his actual real position was. We couldn't play through him. We couldn't play to him. We kind of had to play around him until it gets to that part of the pitch where he's of value. And then I started to sort of resent Fellaini starting in that team. It's the exact thing that's happening now with McTominay. I said at the start of the season, of all the players that we are going to be leaving, that are going to be leaving, McTominay was probably last on my list. Now he's starting every week. I just don't get it. But what is all being fairly and correctly said in the comments down here, by the way, is our attackers. Now, my personal opinion, and okay, this is a game of opinions. People down there saying, "Oh, Sam, you know I'm right." No, I don't. I know you might think you are completely right, but that's your opinion. My opinion is that the biggest issue we've got with this current team is the midfield setup, because the midfield completely affects every element of the game. Bringing the ball out from the back, feeding the attackers, defending. The midfield is part of everything. A misfiring attack is bad. But the midfield is everything, and that's the core of the problems that we have right now. And I think a lot of it's self-inflicted. I'm going to go down here and read some of your comments out, right? Anthony and Halle match. It's bullshit. Anthony can't create for a striker. United players are not good enough on the ball. They're not capable of playing the Ajax game. Well, I completely agree that they're not capable of playing the Ajax game. And something that happened at Ajax, I'm sure anybody, Keys, if you can fill me in on this, but Ajax dominated the ball a lot. And it was a lot. I think was it Mazraoui down the right-hand side with Anthony? A great partnership, because they always took the defender away from him. And therefore, Anthony had the space and ability to cut inside. And yeah, Sebastian Haller went to Ajax when Ten Hag changed his system in 2021, went with more of a focal point. I think that's when, did Ajax go undefeated in the group stage of the Champions League that year? Haller was banging them in. Completely changes the system up. So they can play towards a target, man. And he has done at Ajax. But these players right now are not doing it. Nuruddin, man. That is some festive spirit. I'll cheers to that. I don't know how anybody drinks these on a full session. Man, that's crazy. You just gifted 10 memberships, dude. The Christmas gong. Only a little tickle. We're going to keep it calm today. Josh, you're saying, Sam, would you consider dropping Hojlund for Rashford? You know what I said yesterday? Well, I didn't say, I'll say now. I found it really odd that Erik ten Hag decided to take off Hojlund for Rashford and thought that was going to change much or anything. Because the problem wasn't Hojlund yesterday. The problem was the fact the ball didn't go into Hojlund. Do you know how bad that stat is? Our two wingers played a combined one pass into Hojlund. And people are having a go at Hojlund for not scoring his first Premier League goal. The dude didn't have a shot yesterday. You're like, Mate, choose your battles. It's crazy. We've got, and this is what I mean about mismatches, right? Mismatches. You've got Marcus Rashford is a head down, selfish attacker. That's why he scored 30 goals last year. And that's how he plays his game. It's what made him so effective before. Garnacho, always been the biggest fish in a small pond with United's under 18s coming through into the first team. He's always been the best player. And I told you, he's maturing this year for sure. But he's a head down, cut inside, a lot of the time player. I think he's offering more than Anthony is for sure. And then you got Anthony, somebody whose natural game. I mean, has there been a more one-footed player in this United team ever? I'm really not sure. I mean, there might have been. But Anthony, you know what he's going to do. And because we don't always have that overlapping right back, it's so easy to defend against Anthony. And just his crosses and shots have been so ineffective. That's what was different last year. Last season, Anthony, he was that one-trick pony, but damn, he was effective last season. His crosses were dangerous. His shots were leading to goals. It gets worse, by the way, that stat. Look at this. Because this isn't just a West Ham game in isolation. Oh, you're overreacting, Sam. Okie dokie. Let's have a look across the whole course of the Premier League season. How much Anthony and Garnacho have been passing to Rasmus Hojlund? A combined 11 passes. You have to rub your eyes, don't you? Paul, it's funny you put that comment down there, actually. My mate Joey put that in the WhatsApp group earlier today. He's pulling up this quote here from Fergie. When we signed Van Persie, right, we lost the league on goal difference. What does Fergie go and do? Goes and signs the best striker in the league. Lovely. What happens then? He wins Golden Boot. We win the league. Because the whole team was geared towards, where's Robin Van Persie? Right. Let's build everything towards him. He's the focal point. He's the tip of our arrow. And this United team is just not doing it. Just not doing it. 11 passes there in a combined over 900. What's that? 929 minutes. Anthony and Garnacho have been on the pitch with Hojlund. And in that 929 minutes, there's been 11 passes between them to Hojlund. It's staggering. And John, you're saying it's too many big-headed individuals. It's a delicate balancing act, man. Every top footballer has an ego. That's why they're top footballers. As an elite sports person has to have an ego, or you will just get swallowed up and stamped on by all the other competition, and they will become the best. And that's what makes managing elite top level clubs that much more difficult. Because every level of football management comes with its own set of positives and its own sets of problems. If you're playing for a lower level club, you're going to have a much lower budget. You're going to have to be far smarter and far better overall, really, to get the most out of what you've got. But if you go towards a top level where your budgets are big and you're spending big money on players and you have to get a response, and then you have to manage big egos. At Manchester United, the egos have been allowed to fester and flourish. And you know that. And still we're stuck in limbo. Even the Athletic, even David Ornstein, right, has got burnt over this takeover. The announcement is expected before Christmas. Now, if that doesn't tell you everything about this whole process, then nothing will. David Ornstein and The Athletic have been burned. Every single reliable journalist has been burned by the Glazers and their fucking lack of decisions and how everything has to be drawn out and slow. Because that's how they operate. Damn. It's Christmas tomorrow. Just want to get drunk and enjoy myself. Don't want to talk about United. Because if you do talk about United, you won't enjoy Christmas. What are you saying down here in the comments? Let me go back to this. Albert saying, chin up, Sam. I'll be fine tomorrow, man. I'll be fine later. It's just I'm just looking forward to the point where we as a community here on United People's TV can come here every week with our live shows, Monday to Friday, and we can just enjoy ourselves. We can love looking forward to talking about the footy. It's been a while. It's been a tough season, man. It really has. I think it's because when we went into it, we actually had we have real hope. We have real hope. And it's not just Garnacho, by the way, here that all the problems are lying. Every single player is ineffective at this moment in time. Even Kobe Mainu had a mistake yesterday. Just that tiny lapse of concentration. His foot was probably, what? 1.5 inches, 2 inches too high. Rolled under his foot. Played around him. Kudos goal. It's even affecting him. And I hope, I guarantee you there are some United fans, probably not United fans, just football fans in general, that are now going to try and stick the knife in. That's what they do. That's what they do. Right, I'm going to go down here and read some of your comments out now. There's a couple of super chats, and then I'll read some of your comments. Maybe I'll try and invite someone on here for a chat as well. Or what are you saying? Yeah, Scott isn't the only problem, but prior to him scoring, he was garbage for about 18 months. I hope Ten Hag gives Mainu game time. McTominay must, right? Let's pull this photo up because it's the only one. Oh, no, that's a photo I've got. It's got McTominay. I was saying this to a few lads yesterday. McTominay must, he must train like an absolute demon. He must be so impressive in training. Like from a professional perspective. Turns up on time, always does what is asked of him, puts in 100% effort every single session. He must do that. Because Mourinho made up an end-of-year award to give it to him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, maybe with Ole, when you think about it, what other options did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have? Really? I don't think we had too many. But Solskjaer played him right until the end. And Erik Ten Hag has gone from freezing him out to the opposite. He's probably the first name on the team sheet now for Erik Ten Hag. Made him captain against Liverpool. He must train like an absolute demon, man. Seriously. There's a couple more super chats here. Nuruddin saying put midfielders on the wings. I don't know. The only thing I want to see change tactically is Scott McTominay coming out of the team. You could potentially put Pellistri on the right wing instead of Anthony. I think that's an option. Garnacho off for Rashford, I think, is an option. But then you're probably going to... Pellistri on the right wing is something I think that will make a difference for Hojlund when you think about it. Jack still will have 10 to 11 players out. Still, the media says nothing. I can't... And it's just me now. I think Martinez is the only player coming back who I think is going to make a discernible immediate difference to our team. I hope that Casemiro can do the same in midfield. But given how he played this season, Casemiro, if Ten Hag uses this system with not that one there, uses that system with Casemiro, we are screwed. He is screwed. Casemiro cannot play as an isolated number 6. But the fact that Ten Hag, the game after Liverpool, went straight back to doing the number 6, he is determined to make this work. And yeah, a lot of people use this word, and I think it's correct. Ten Hag is being very stubborn with this approach. Like, fuck me, Erik. We have not won away against the top 9. And I'll be honest, when you say it like that, going back to last season, when we were playing a different system, we were playing with 2 central midfielders, 4-2-3-1 was our shape last year, and we still didn't get the results against the top 9. I'm not saying it's just down to tactics. Ryan, you're saying our wingers need to be held accountable. Fergie used to warn all the players to find Van Persie. We had that little conversation there a little bit earlier. And yeah, everybody needs to buck up their ideas, man. And this is what football is, a collective game, right? So people think, oh, you're scapegoating Scott McTominay. Like, cool, you do you. It used to be the word agenda before. No, I've been talking about Scott McTominay for so long now, and the problems that he poses into this and that he brings into this team, and how his added goal threat is not worth what everything else that we lose by having him in the team. No, I've just been talking about it for so long that it might sound like I'm scapegoating after the West Ham game, but I'm just bored of banging my head against a brick wall. That's kind of what it is now. And you think it's training, you think it's trust. I think it's a bit of both, man. Like, the reason that Ten Hag will trust McTominay, of course, is the goals that he scored against Brentford, but it's what he's doing in training week in, week out. As Ten Hag showed by dropping Sancho, he notices intensity and performances in training, and it can affect how he chooses his team. Klein, what are you saying? You think when Casemiro is back fit, Ten Hag will play him and Amrabat as a Mainu and Mainu as a midfield 3? No, I don't. And nor do I think he should. We need Bruno in that middle. And then I'm in as the most aggressive of the 3 midfielders, and we need 2 midfielders behind him. Whether it's Casemiro and Mainu, whether it's Casemiro and Amrabat, whether it's Amrabat and Mainu, whoever it is, you need 2 behind Bruno. That is what we need. Let me see what you're saying down in the comments. I bet pushing that double 8 system is the bigger reason to play McTominay than him being a goal threat. That's an interesting concept there, Danny. Is Erik Ten Hag so stubborn to the system that he's willing to? It doesn't make sense, man. I don't get a lot of the decisions that Erik Ten Hag is making right now. I really don't. I think that's the thing that's frustrating me the most. Like, we got that 0-0 draw at Anfield. We got it by having 2. And I think I said it during the game. The way that West Ham played, you kind of go, well, we didn't really need 2 midfielders, did we? They weren't really offering that much threat. And up until the second half, they didn't really hit us on the counter-attack with any danger. Luke Shaw was having a fantastic game up against Kudos in that first like 60 minutes. Up until the Paqueta pass, we were defensively sound. And then as soon as that went in, it's pure United. Heads dropped. Then that happens. That's Mainu. Is that Mainu? I think it is. Just a tiny lapse of concentration. Ball 1, 2-0, game over. Carl, you're saying, do you think if both Pellistri and Eriksen played, they would look for Hojlund? Absolutely do. Eriksen obviously is Danish compatriot. I'm not sure that makes too much of a difference. But Eriksen is one of those players who looks up for those passes, and so is Bruno. But Bruno is rarely in the correct position right now to play that final pass. Bruno is being tasked with these sorts of passes, right? So Bruno here instead of Bruno being in sort of, I don't know, receiving the ball in maybe these positions here, and then being able to find like that little final through ball there, or a nice little one out there, Bruno is being tasked with finding a big like 30, 40 yarder down there. Or, I don't know, same thing the other way. His effectiveness is being limited by the positions he is occupying on the pitch because of the approach that we have. And that there is on Erik ten Hag. And just a lot of these problems I think he's kind of creating himself. Tell you what I'm going to do here. Let me pop this here. I'll tell you what I will do, actually. I think this is fair. Actually, no, it's Christmas. This feels like a risk. I've just dropped a link down there for anybody who wants to come on and have a quick chat. So if you come on, you can ask don't speak for like 5 minutes because there's too many people. But you come on, you can ask a question and I'll answer it, and then we'll bring on someone else. But if you'd like to, that's the link to the studio. You can come on. Just make sure your microphone's working. All right. It's a little bit different. It's a Christmas show. I've had that on screen way too long. Let's have that on screen instead. Actually, it's nice. Let's just have a picture of Erik ten Hag. Yeah, and mate, preaching to the choir here. Bruno has gone from one of the most creative midfielders in the world to one of the least creative. What is Bruno Fernandes turned shit overnight? No, he's absolutely not. Not in any way, shape, or form. Bruno Fernandes is a fantastic creative midfielder. Does he have his flaws? Yep. Is he going to be a player that really helps you play a possession-based style of football? Nope. Do we already know that? Yeah, we do. So don't play him deeper. Play him as a number 10. That's where he should be playing. But instead, we're playing McTominay there, who can't create anything, and therefore, all we're currently doing is trying to kick the ball out to our wingers and hoping that they can create and that McTominay can arrive on the edge of the box. But they're not creating. And McTominay is therefore never receiving the ball. Ross, look, we can argue to whatever. Cows come home. Something like that. You're saying Bruno's not worth juice, not worth squeeze? Totally disagree. Wholeheartedly. Easily, by some margin, the best signing that we have made post-Fergie. And I don't really think it's close. Anybody? Fire it in the comments. Is there anybody you think is a better signing post-Sir Alex Ferguson than Bruno Fernandes? I'd love to hear the names that you throw forward. Honestly, I would. I'm not saying that I'm 1,000,000% correct. It's just that I'm quite firm in what I feel about Bruno Fernandes. But yeah, mate, dude's got his problems. Okay, Ross, what? Woohoo! See you later, Ross. That's the end of that conversation. I was trying to. Hey, look, at least you can laugh, right? I enjoyed that. That was good fun. Woo. Paul Pogba. That's a good one. Honestly, it's a really good one. Right. Let's try and bring some faces on here. Or maybe not some faces. We've just got some grey. Jack, you there?
Hello.
Oh, look at that. Can everybody hear? I think everyone can hear. How you doing, Jack?
Yeah, well, thanks. Merry Christmas, of course.
Merry Christmas indeed. What are you drinking, Jack? That's what I want to know.
Thatcher's Gold.
Thatcher's what? Two-sided.
Way too smooth, I'm afraid.
Way too smooth. What's your question for me?
I am concerned that the problem at the moment is that Bruno, the task of creativity falls solely upon Bruno. So do you think that bringing Eriksen and maybe just Eriksen on his own will ease that burden on Bruno and be able to create more chances elsewhere?
I mean, it all depends on the setup, because if you're getting Eriksen, look, Eriksen should just come in the team for McTominay.
Probably, I think so as well. Yeah.
Or Amrabat. Well, if Amrabat comes in, Amrabat's not creating. Amrabat's more of a defensively minded. Yeah. But Jack, I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I think the thing with Eriksen is that he shows the ball, right? That's almost the complete opposite to McTominay. So and Eriksen has that balance, and we saw our best football played last year when we had a destroyer next to Eriksen, like Casemiro. And I think it offers that balance, as you were saying earlier, with like Casemiro and Mainu and having someone in front. But I think Eriksen shows for the ball more than even Mainu.
Yeah, but I think Eriksen, if you look at the best football that Eriksen played last season, he played in like a double pivot. So that's when we were playing 4-2-3-1, rather than like the number 8 position. Pardon me, is you have to be very fucking athletic because you really have got to move a lot as a number 8.
Yeah, it's just such a horror. It's just an annoying issue where he's 33 years old or whatever now, and if we had him 5 years prior, it'd be a totally different story. He'd be starting every game. But yeah,
same with Varane, same with Casemiro, same with Schweinsteiger. I mean, we could go on.
Yeah,
we could go
on.
You know what? You just reminded me of a stat. I can't believe you've done this to me. Why did you remind me of this?
I'm
right,
sorry.
Everybody, get ready to drink all your drinks. Erik ten Hag has signed 2 strikers for United, right? Weghorst and Hojlund, and between them, they've scored no goals in 31 games.
You got to laugh. You have to laugh.
Jack, it's totally your fault for reminding me about that.
That's all right.
Yeah,
I'll leave you to that then.
Enjoy your practice. Don't choke on it or anything. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
See you later. Bye.
Seriously, you know how bad that stat is? I have to repeat that. If I had a picture of Weghorst here, I'll put it up as well. Ten Hag has signed 2 strikers, Weghorst and Hojlund, and they played a total of 31 games between them and didn't score a goal in the league. I need a drink now. I need a or you're calling that stat frightening. Devo, you're calling it unbelievable. Dude, I wish it was unbelievable. I wish it was unbelievable, but it's completely and utterly believable. Oh, lack of chart. And I think the thing that's... Phil, I'm going to bring you on next. I'll bring you in a minute. We've got Israel, we've got Ant, we've got King AAA. I see you all there. I'll bring you all in a minute. The 2 extremes of United this season, right? At the start of this, well, not for the majority of this season, we've played really sort of aggressive, expansive, open football, and we've been scoring goals. Certainly in the Champions League, anyway. Maybe this is sort of a Champions League isolation thing, but we've been scoring goals and we've been conceding them left, right, and centre. And then we've gone the opposite, where we've tried to shore up our defence, and it's worked to a certain degree in certain games. But now we can't create anything. So it's like it's two ends of the spectrum, and I don't understand how we still can't find that balance in the middle. Right, Israel, let's bring you on. Let's see if you've got anything more cheery to say to me. How you doing, sir?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Oh, you sound like you're underwater. Very muffled mic.
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Coming through now.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I can't really hear you, buddy.
Can you hear me, please?
No, sorry, man. I'm sorry, dude. I can't hear you. I'm gonna have to take you off stage. Apologies, everyone. I don't mean to be rude, but everyone has to hear what you have to say. Ant, I'm gonna bring you on now. Sorry, Israel, I can't hear you, buddy. Otherwise, I'd bring you on to speak. But Ant, are you there? Is your mic working?
I'm here, mate. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Good, good. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
No, I really don't either. Are you going to bring some festive cheer to me?
No. In a nutshell, I don't know where to begin, mate. I really don't. I mean, how the hell do we explain last season to this season? What's changed? We know the Glazers are a problem. We know all that. We know they're the common denominator through all these years we've suffered. Something substantial has changed this season. And it can't just be the players, because we've got some talented players in our team. We have, whether we like it or not. But we're not a team anymore. We're not. We look like a group of 11 lads that have turned up on a Sunday after being at the pub the night before, and they don't know each other.
Well, I think it's quite obvious what's changed is our whole system and approach has completely changed.
Yeah, I mean, all I can say to that is that I want to back Ten Hag, I really do. But the greatest leaders get the best out of what they've got. We can bemoan injuries. We can say, look, we need new players in this position and that position, but we're getting beat by lesser teams with lesser players. There's no other way to explain it.
It's for me. I know I'm going to get called a fucking scandal. It's the McTominay thing that keeps repeating in my head.
Well, but I mean, yeah, I agree. But before McTominay, it was Rashford. You know, before Rashford, it was someone else. It was Casemiro out of form, or we can't just keep picking on one player. The
McTominay situation. It's not about a player out of form. It's about a sort of obsession with the adding. And I think the reason that the McTominay one is so sticking with me is because of who I thought Ten Hag was as a manager, and the sort of the way that he played football and the way that he looked at and approached football, and then the McTominay one is the total opposite of that. And that's why it, for me, and I've just said that out loud, and that kind of explains why I think I'm so going in so heavy on McTominay.
The only thing I can think of, possibly in my head, is that the other players have sat with Erik Ten Hag and said, the system you want us to play doesn't work, we can't do it. But McTominay is the only one that has stuck by Erik Ten Hag and said, I'll do whatever you tell me to do, and I won't complain about it. Because he looks like he's playing his own game.
He is the definition of that. That's why every manager loves him.
He looks like he plays his own game, doesn't he, McTominay? Like he's playing solo, while the rest of the team are trying to do something else. McTominay's off doing his own thing, almost. He doesn't seem like he's playing as part of the team.
Well,
so maybe that's it.
That's kind of United in a nutshell, really. We do play as individuals.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
As Mouts has been going on about there, and I agree on that. Like, nobody should be getting away from heavy criticism. Anthony deserves, like, the Hojlund one is let me pull a picture of Hojlund up here. Ooh, that one there. Oh, nice, found it. The Hojlund situation. I feel so bad for him, man. Like, I think in the last few games, you know, like the start when he came in, he was backing into defenders and it was kind of working. You're thinking, oh man, look how physical he is. I think defenders have quickly worked that out, and now he doesn't really seem to know what to do. Like going really tight he went really tight against Bayern Munich and it really, really didn't work. He went really tight against Konate and Van Dijk and it really didn't work. He has to be coached, because that's what worked for him at Atalanta, because in Serie A he really was a physical specimen and he probably got more success out of it. He's got to mature in his game, but he's getting no service, man. No.
We've got to admit that. You put him in any one of the top, even 8 or 10 teams in the league, and I bet he's on double figures already, because he's getting nothing. He's not getting a bloody sniff of anything. You know, it's like he's the pariah in the whole team. Like, everybody hates him, or, you know, and they just don't want to even acknowledge he's on the pitch. I feel for the lad, but the whole team, the team as a whole, it just looked like they don't want to be there.
Merry Christmas, Ant.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you as well.
Man, it's bad, isn't it?
It is.
We are feeding off scraps.
Yeah. Take it easy, dude.
Yeah, take it.
Boxing Day to look forward to. Yay!
Oh, jeez. Who mentioned Boxing Day? Sack him. Let me go down there to the comments and see what you're saying. What's Fabrizio Romano saying then? Let's have a look. Let's see if the comments are lying to me or whether they're actually telling some truth. Let's have a look. I don't see anything from Fabrizio. But ladies and gents, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here. do not be expecting much in January. If we do sign someone in January, we're going to sign a striker in the region of 15 to 20 million. And depending on whether Varane leaves, if a big comes in and his contract does run out in the summer, then I think Manchester United will genuinely consider selling him. And if that happens, then we might get a centre-back. Either or. I don't expect a massive January. I expect it to be another bargain bin. January is more important for us as a football club, is genuinely getting rid of the players in this squad who are on hugely inflated wages that, simply put, are not part of the future of this team. We have to focus in January on correcting many of the mistakes that we have made over these last few years, rather than thinking about the correct decisions going forward. Because unfortunately, we have to do one or the other. I think one or the other. We can't do the other because of FFP, because we screwed up so much. We can't go out and sign players. We should have signed in the summer Declan Rice and Harry Kane. With Manchester United, we should have signed Declan Rice and Harry Kane. Two of England's best players, would have been prime for United. Both would have come running to Man United as well. Maybe Declan Rice he wanted to stay in London. I could see that conversation. Harry Kane would have been flying up to Manchester. We couldn't afford either of them. That's how bad our finances are. And this is the third biggest club in the world. It's bad. DP, you're saying would leave you sold to us? Dude, of course he would have. Price was there. It might have been more expensive than we should have ever paid for a player of that age. But Harry Kane would have come to this football club for 3. I think if Harry Kane, maybe not, even Harry Kane would be struggling to hell in this team. Let's be honest. Jeez. Dean, I can see you down there. I'll bring you in. You've been sitting there and waiting patiently. Oh, we got a video on this one as well. Oh, one sec. How do I do that? That one there? Yes. How you doing, Dean?
Hey, Sam.
Nice to see you, man.
Yeah,
What's that shirt you got on there?
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, dude. What's that shirt on there? I don't recognize that one.
Yeah, it's just my local team.
Local team. Where are you from, sir?
I'm from Stockholm, Sweden.
Oh, wicked. Awesome. Yeah. Well, what's your question then? Bring it on, Dean.
Yeah, it's just like a comment, man. I feel like at the moment, people may say we have a lot of problems, but if you look at that team, honestly, you see like McTominay is the problem. If he's pulled out of that team, I think we can pull out something because he makes Bruno out of position, you know. So we don't play like a team, you know. I don't know how to say it, but if you look at all the games that Bruno has played with McTominay, just pulls Bruno behind it.
I call it like the McTominay paradox. It
really doesn't work, because if you have your best creative midfielder in Bruno Fernandes, but all the games he's playing out of position because he has to help. Like, actually, the duty that McTominay is supposed to do is actually done by Bruno, and then McTominay can't really pass the ball. So we lack that creativity. You may talk about Garnacho and Anthony, but without that number 10 who can create, I don't think we can really do something big.
What do you think is going to happen against Villa then? I'll leave that as the question.
Yeah, I don't know. It's right now it's so hard. I think Ten Hag is just falling for McTominay like Shusha did and all the other managers did, because I don't know what actually McTominay does that every manager has to fall for him, and at the end of the day, he gets them sacked. I
think we know what he does, and we know the goal threat that he brings, but right now, the goal threat's just not there. The reason to play him, the evidence is showing that it's just not working, and I think that's the thing that's frustrating us all the most.
Yeah, because look, man, yesterday, look at how Anthony was playing. He almost created a lot of chances, but all the balls fell to the dead end. And at the end of the day, Anthony has to get a stick for not playing well. But if you look at his game yesterday, he played really well. He tried to create chances, but who was there to finish the ball? Who was there to make the final pass to Hojlund or to Garnacho or whatever it is? There was nobody there always. Bruno is always out of press just because he has to cover up in the midfield.
Well, I don't think anybody was really playing well yesterday. Actually, no, Luke Shaw did. I think Luke Shaw played very well. But look, Dean, Thank you very much for coming on, dude. I hope. What is it? Is it snowing in Sweden?
Yeah, it's too much snowing here.
Too much snow. We got none.
Yeah,
here.
it's too much, man.
That's why you're staying indoors, right?
Snow is above the boots, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really cold out here.
Well, mate, I hope you have a fantastic Christmas, and thank you very much for
Thank you
calling
so
in.
much.
Awesome. Look at that. Reds around the world. I'm going to go down and read a few of your comments out now. Next 5 minutes or so, we'll do a little Q&A. Fire in your questions. Can be about United or something else if you want. Probably rather talk about something else, really. Garnacho and Anthony, easy work for defenders if they can't get past or cross. You remember, I think it was last pre-season, actually both pre-seasons really, how United played. We always went for the cutback. It's the way that we played. I don't think that was necessarily a bad thing. We go wide. The wide man would beat his player, and instead of firing in a lofted cross, it would get cut back to around about the penalty area, penalty box, penalty spot, and that's where we'd shoot from. And we're just not doing that really anymore either. Ericsson as a backup, says Free Gold. Why do we put ourselves through this, says Lollipop. Kind of a fair question, but it's just what you do. Football works in cycles. Let's just say the football gods are definitely balancing out the 90s and the 2000s for United fans. That's for sure. 2010s had its moments. We obviously had the league. But geez, these last 10 years have been tough. Edred, where does Mount fit into all of this from now on? Truth be told, dude, Mason Mount is a lesser Bruno Fernandes. So I see him slotting into a position where Bruno Fernandes could play if Bruno Fernandes is or isn't there. You could put him out on the right wing. And honestly, I've been screaming that since the second week that I wanted to see Mason Mount on the right wing. Just haven't really seen it. Don't really know why. What else are you saying down here? And that's a lovely comment there. I'm more proud of this community than I am of the team. Mate, this community is absolutely damn awesome. And it's why I'm frustrated. So I keep saying, I know I shouldn't say it too much. Probably a little bit harsh on myself, really. But I'm just disappointed that I haven't been able to do everything that I wanted to do, especially with the new software. Because this software is good and all, but I know that it can be a million times better. See all those call-ins we're doing now? We can do those from Discord straight away, but it's significantly more complicated. And as it stands right now, I don't have any more investment where I could... I can't bring in a producer, so I have to produce the whole thing whilst doing it all. So it's really difficult. I've got 3 screens on the go. They'll all be going at the same time. Who said men can't multitask? You're lying. Sometimes can. What else is he saying down here? Yes, Jack, with nice with a rhetorical question. Do you think it's super important that everyone joins the Discord? I do indeed. The Telegram community back in the day was good. I loved it as the starting point of the community. But if you went into the general chat in there, it was like 1,000, 2,000 people in there, and it was chaos. It was like imagine walking into a pub with like 2,000 people and being able to hear what your friend is saying like 20 yards away. You wouldn't be able to hear a thing. That's what the Telegram was. Discord's a lot more split and spread and more welcoming, I think. So I'd love you to come on board. Scott, number 10, backup Ericsson. Bruno, right, backup Mount. You don't want to see Bruno on the right-hand side. Can we just stop putting Bruno out of position? Like, he's clearly one of those players, like a bit like Scott McTominay. If the manager told him to play left back, he'd be like, cool, right, got it, let's go. Despite the fact that it's just nowhere near his best position. He'll go, yep, all right, good. Where do you want to? Oh, you want to play right back now? Good. All right, okay, good. That's why managers love them. Doesn't mean they're the perfect players, though. I would stick Maguire and Evans up front. Oh, yeah. At least, right? At least the Boxing Day game isn't until 8 p.m. So you've got the whole of Christmas Day and the whole of Boxing Day until 8 p.m. Josh Phillip, with the easiest question in the world. What is your favorite Christmas film? Anybody who doesn't say Home Alone here, I'm going to throw this pen through the screen at you. Is there anything else you can choose apart from Home Alone as number one? Die Hard? Don't ask me whether Die Hard's a Christmas film. Home Alone 2? I prefer the original. Home Alone 2 is great, right? Home Alone 2 is great. I just personally prefer the first. Bad Santa, Polar Express. I love this community, but you just let yourselves down there. The general saying, why don't you read comments from non-members? Which is exactly what I've done right there. And by the way, as a member on this channel, it is part of being a member. You get your comments read out as a priority. It's a perk of being a member. Memberships do come with nice things. Favorite Christmas song? You know what would be the best thing in the world? If somebody just burnt the master copies of All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. I think Christmas would just be a happier place all around the world if that song didn't exist. Why is that Strombo can blue? It's because it's dark fruits. I have one left in my fridge. Thank you, Rosie. And all my beers are somewhere else for Christmas already. So there's another shout. Muppets Christmas Carol. Damn. Oh man, that's right up there for me. I've managed to survive until Christmas Eve to watch Home Alone. So I've got Home Alone and Home Alone 2 back to back. Philemon, stop answering Christmas questions. No, it's Christmas tomorrow. How about it? I just want to go and watch Christmas films now, but I've got to do all my rapping. I can't be the only one who hasn't done the rapping yet. Surely not. CJ, it's a really good question. When it comes to memberships, I think I've said this to you quite a lot as a community before. YouTube is so much more community and creator friendly than Facebook is. Any memberships that get gifted out, they go to YouTube only. This concept of super chats only exists on YouTube, so I can't see those on there. The integration for Facebook is nowhere near as good, pardon me, as YouTube. So I apologize about that. Now, Anuj, I can see you down there. I'll bring you in, get your question in, and then we can wrap the show up for today. Am I an MC? I'm definitely not an MC going down there. Right, Anuj, come. Oh, one sec, Anuj, sorry. Answer. I've got. I'll pause for 1 second there. Let me just quickly take you off the stage. Oh man, that's some festive cheer right there. Always been here since. This is what it is about this community, man. Who I'm trying to remember who the originals are. All was there since the very beginning. We've got T, we've got we've got Anuj, we've got Josh, got Takeoff. I've still got the old WhatsApp members group. It's everyone's been here since the very, very beginning, and we've been crap. We've had some good times, we've had some enjoyable times, but overall we've been crap. Yet we're all still here. And that's what you do as a football fan. You stick by your team, and it doesn't matter, thick and thin, you come out the other side. And ladies and gents, when we come out through this other side, and we will, by the way, we will, right? I'm telling you. Also, I'm not telling you. I'm hoping that the Ratcliffe minority takeover is the beginning of opening. It's genuinely the beginning of this rebuild. Because this football club has swallowed up Van Gaal, Mourinho, Solskjaer, Ten Hag, Moyes, and countless players that should have been significantly better until they came to our football club. So many different types of managers, so many top-level players, all of them just disappeared. Swallowed up by the quicksand that is Manchester United as a football club. It's not a coincidence. And it's the common denominator of the owners of our football club and the culture that exists. And you can't have that argument with anybody who's not a United fan anymore, because it's exhausting. But don't know how big to go on the gong, so I don't want to hurt people's ears. Let's go big! Woo! Oh, Jack, you joined in too. Little mini gong. Yeah, man, get that festive cheer in. Can I have a little cheers to the community? The best in the world. I'm just disappointed I had to drink Strombo. Strombo. Does anyone like Strombo? Is that a thing? Strombo's like the... I remember I took... Where was it? It was on my mate's stag do and I organised it. This year, big up to you, Ben. And for some reason, I bought... I have no idea why, but I bought a crate of Strombo on a stag do. There was 24 cans. And at the end of the stag do, there was only 20 cans left. And the only person who drank them was because we played Edward Cider Hands and stuck 2 cans of Strongbow to his hands twice. No, nobody drank it. Nobody. He even took them to his wedding and then put them in like the drinks box, and they were still there. A whole crate survived a stag do and a wedding. That's how much people do not enjoy Strongbow. Right, Anuj, I can see you there now. I apologize about the little delay there, but we had to do that. Anuj, Doc, how you doing?
Hi, can you hear me?
Repping the vest.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, dude. What's it? Come at me with a top level question.
Yeah, I mean, I had a question about Sancho and Rashford. I mean, does Erik Ten Hag's way of handling Sancho may have affected Rashford's form or not? I want your opinion on that.
At 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
I mean, they're best buddies, right? I mean, both play for England and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think for sure. Sancho being taken out of the team. I mean, yeah, you're right. They're really close friends off the pitch. So there's no way that it wouldn't have impacted him. And I think probably Rashford would have naturally supported Sancho, even if he's like, hey, mate, you should probably just apologize. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. I didn't do anything wrong. And then Rashford, hey, mate, good luck trying to explain Rashford's form to anybody. But Anna's more importantly, you've been bulking up. You've been slamming the gym there.
Yeah.
Jeez! The size of him. He can't even fit on the screen anymore. It's too big. No, mate, I think you're right.
I would also like to see Anthony drop to the bench and Mount play instead of him, and McTominay drop to bench and Eriksen coming in, Bruno playing in his natural position so that he can make his output like it has been.
Let's all be completely honest. Erik Ten Hag is probably going to do the same thing against Aston Villa, and that's just the way it is. I'm going to drop my predicted 11 tomorrow on Christmas morning if anybody wants to ruin their Christmas day for 10 minutes. But hey, look, let's see. I hope that there are changes, dude, and I think we need.
Yeah, I like your sweater, by the way. It's good.
She is the Three Kings. These are the UPTV ones, but because I was working on these are the things I haven't been able to do. The software and the merch. I've made a whole new bloody merch shop, but I can't launch it. Next Christmas, though. Next Christmas, I'll bring these back. But Anuj, man, lovely to see you.
Yeah.
Even though you're about
good stuff,
75% bigger than you were last time we had a chat. So if we have a conversation next year, you're going to be bursting out of it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'll be busy with my studies and all that.
Well, you stick to your studies and you stick to getting wamp. But look, enjoy your Christmas, man. Lovely to chat to you.
Cheers.
Jeez. So big you can't walk through doors anymore. Madhouse, how you doing? Thank you very much, dude. Yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone. Hour and 15, bit of a different show. What have I got to do? I've got to go next and pick up some presents. Thank you, Susie. And then I've got to buy some wrapping paper because I haven't got any. Then I've actually got to wrap some presents. And then we've got to get ready, man, because we're having, today is a Christmas film marathon day. We are getting, I'm trying to think of it in order. Do I start with Muppets Christmas Carol? Or do I start with Home Alone 1? Susie doesn't have a shout. Susie, I'm deciding this, all right? What do you type in the comments? Do we start with Home Alone 1 or start with Muppets Christmas Carol? What do we do? I don't know. It's a tough choice. I forgot about Muppets. I feel really bad now. I love Muppets Christmas Carol. That's the one that I watch with my sister so often. Love that film. Josh, you're saying Muppets Christmas Carol, but Edridge, you're saying Home Alone. Home Alone, then move to Die Hard. I don't know. I'll send a little photo in Discord later when I do choose. But can I just say, and I had this here, right? You can see the little photo. I'm going to pull this photo up full screen, actually. Actually, no, I won't. You can just see it in the bottom left. Bottom right, sorry. I had that photo made. Big up to you, Parry, designer, for helping me make that thumbnail. Down in the bottom corner, Erik Ten Hag, cheers in for Christmas. Didn't really feel appropriate to use that as a thumbnail today, so I didn't. But I just want to say, I don't need a photo of Erik on here for this. I absolutely love United People's TV and the community there is and the conversations we have all the time. It's genuinely fun. That's a complete lie. It's not been fun. For these last few months has been the first time, and I'm lucky I can say this, these last few months have been the first few months where this has really felt like work. Doing United People's TV. Because like these, maybe a little bit more than a few months actually. This last year, which has involved the takeover saga, talking about a state takeover, and the amount of quite emotionally driven arguments that we did from all angles, the Mason Greenwood situation that unfolded, and the amount of emotionally driven conversations and arguments that we had to have here. The Anthony situation, which I don't think it's fair to put that in the same category as the Mason Greenwood situation, given the evidence that we have, but dealing with that as well. And then United just being absolutely garbage. After a season where we actually genuinely thought we could, this could be the start of us coming back. I'm pretty convinced that 2024 will be a better year. I'm saying that. We won the League Cup this year, but the League Cup is not going to ever be the measure of a successful Manchester United team. I hope you've enjoyed this year. I really have. I'm trying to think of what we got. I've got my schedule up there. So we've got Villa on Boxing Day, and we've got Forest on the 30th. So we'll be here. I'll be here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I won't be here. Well, I will be here in spirit and also in a pre-recorded video. I'm going to be doing my Villa 11. So if you want to take 10 minutes away from drinking early in the morning tomorrow, then you can watch that. I'll give you my start 11 and the changes I think Ten Hag's got to make. I've really enjoyed a lot of 2023, and I'm looking forward to a when United are good again. And it will happen. It's when, not if. But look, thank you everyone for giving up an hour and 15 minutes of your time today. I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the next few days with your family, because family is the most important thing in the world. It really is. But I'll be here after Villa on Boxing Day. Let's not think about United for the next 24 hours. All right? Enjoy yourselves. Merry Christmas to everyone. And thank you all for tuning in. And thank you for that 50 memberships, man. It's a lovely gift for the community. Everybody, say thanks to Santa Orr.